How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Well, I'm calling because I want to get some information on something that you all were discussing yesterday. I didn't quite hear everything that was going on, but I think I overheard something about a law that's supposed to go into effect on March the 3rd, where they're supposed to be reducing the sentences of low-level crack dealers.
Yeah. The federal government has said, I guess it wasn't fair for these federal judges to sentence crack dealers to a stiffer, more of a harsher sentence than powder cocaine dealers and users. So they came back, and some of the people who were charged, like I think it's 19,500 people who are in jail now, will probably have their sentences cut. I don't know about how many months or years, but they'll get out earlier than at first thought. So.
Okay, but this law will not affect the young guys that are in jail, the low-level crack dealers who are in the state prison, on the state level.
You know what? I think it might affect them also. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the state level, but and it could. It could affect them also.
Yeah, because I did see something on the internet about an organization that's working on this issue, and it's called It's Not Working, It's Not Fair Group, or something like that. And I'm really glad to hear that something is finally being done about this, because, you know, it does affect everybody. It affects me because my son, you know, my only son is in jail right now, is incarcerated, and I've been, you know, trying to, you know, work with him and help him and, you know, try to get him into some type of program, and the people downtown are not willing to do that. The judges down there, they're so unfair and they're so hard.
Well, how much time did he get?
They gave him 2 years.
Okay, how long has he been in there?
He just got sent up yesterday.
Oh,
they sent him to that CRC place where they send those guys before they actually send them to wherever they're going to send them.
And what was his charges?
Just drug. They charged the drug trafficking.
Okay.
Yeah, they did, and he had a very small amount.
Was it crack or powder cocaine?
It was crack.
Crack. Okay.
Yeah, they was going to try to give him 5 years.
Well, maybe the 2 years is a result of what's going on with the with this new federal government deal. So maybe that's why he only got 2 instead of 5. Yeah,
well, it's 1 year of it is mandatory.
Yeah.
But the other year, I guess, is pending, depending on how the judge feels.
Yeah.
So whatever he, you know, if he wants to sign off or for him to get an early release or not.
Okay.
But the judge, he when I went to court with my son, he looked like he's on something. He looked like he drinks.
Who was the judge?
Judge Ruhlman. He looks like an alcoholic. Hair standing all up on his head. Took him a long time to come from the back. I don't know.
Well,
I just think it's a bad thing.
Putting all of that aside, what was your son doing selling crack?
I don't know. I think what it is, what I'm seeing is that it's just a vicious cycle. I'm a single parent, working parent. I had been for a long time, and father didn't play a big part in his life, you know, at all. And what I think it was is once he became an adult, and he got his messed up. He came out and couldn't find a job, and he's out here looking for a job in all these different companies.
Okay, did he graduate from school?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, he didn't. My son has he didn't graduate.
He has a what?
He didn't graduate.
Okay.
He didn't graduate. He's got some things going on where, you know, like he has a learning disability.
Okay.
My son does, and I don't know. I just don't know what happened. I can't really explain it to you because I don't know. I've been working, going to school. I have been raising him. He has good morals. He has good values, but somehow he got led astray. He went the wrong way, took the wrong, you know, route, and things happen. And
well, let's go back to the school part. Why didn't he graduate? You say he had a learning disability?
Yeah, he has a learning disability. Yeah, he had some problems with his reading and different stuff like that. He has an IEP.
Okay.
And I don't know. I really don't know. I tried to work with him. I tried to work with the schools, and, you know, it just, I don't know. Somehow he just went another way. He just took the wrong path, you know. And now he's got felonies on his record, and he's just 23. He's waking up. You know, he's got a new baby coming. He got married when he was out this time, and I don't know. I tried to get the sister to work with me to help my son because I knew he was smoking marijuana. I tried to get them to help him, and the judges just wanted to send him to prison. You know, they just wanted to send him to jail. They just had to give him a number. And
was he? I mean, how many times was he arrested? I mean, before this last time. This time, third time going to prison. Third time? Oh.
Yeah.
See?
Third time.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. These guys that are in jail is going to get out early because of this new law. They're going to end up back in there again. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't understand why these employers are these people who have the power to hire people. Why they don't give these guys a chance?
And see, that's the problem.
They want to give them minimum wage jobs, and they can't take care of their families. You know, so
well, they got to start somewhere.
They got to eat too. Everybody's got to eat. Yeah. You know, everybody's got to pay to be able to survive out here.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm all for these employers hiring these guys after they get out of jail, giving them one chance.
Yes, give
them one more chance to screw up again, and then get rid of them. But if it's starting at a minimum wage job, that's what they're going to have to do. I mean, they put themselves behind the 8 ball.
That's true. That's true. Well, I believe that my son will eventually get himself together. I have faith, and I do believe that.
Do you really think that? I mean, he didn't learn after the first time. He didn't learn after the second time.
He was 18 the first time. He was 18 years old.
That's old enough to
say. He had just turned 18. As a matter of fact, he was 19. He was just turning 18. As soon as he turned 18, judge gave him 11, sent him to prison for 11 months. The second time, he turned 8 in prison, 19 in prison. You know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, let's hope after he does this latest stretch that he really has learned a lesson. But like you said, when he comes out, he's going to have a hard time trying to get a job. He's going to have a hard time trying to get a job. And then when he gets out, you say he's got this baby, and is he still married?
Yes.
Okay, well, then they won't hit him for child support. But, you know, hopefully he'll still be married. You know, she won't file for divorce while he's in jail, because if so, when he gets out, then he's going to have child support hanging over his head.
Well, I'm going to try to help him in every way I can. And I'm productive, so, you know, I'm just going to try to be there for him until, you know, hopefully some of these laws start changing.
All right.
You know.
All right, Anna. Let's hope he's learned a lesson.
Too.
All right. Thanks. All right. Boy, I mean, how many times do you hear that? But you see, this guy, third time, he hasn't learned. Okay, he was 18 when he went in the first time. Still, he's been behind bars. That should say, I don't want to come back here again. But he didn't learn his lesson then. Then he went back again. Didn't learn. Now he's in there for the third time at 23 years old. I knew she was going to eventually call back in after all those instant messages people were sending in, criticizing her, and things like that. Miss Frasier is back on the line, and I just had a feeling she was going to call back. Miss Frasier.
Yes, hi, Mr. Ware. I'm calling because I'm just upset. I need to clear up something.
Yes.
First of all, my son, whom I love very much, doesn't have a mental problem. Okay, I heard her say, "Oh, he has a mental problem." No, he doesn't.
Well, I thought you said.
First of all, my son has. I said that he had a 403B in high school. He was diagnosed. Okay, and every diagnosis that is made in school is not always correct.
Yeah.
You know, I always believed that my son, that they made a wrong diagnosis. There's a lot of things that happen prior to my son getting a diagnosis, first of all, my son saw my mother pass away. Okay, and I believe that he shut down after he saw his grandmother pass away. Okay, now, and another thing, my son is a very good, he's a good person, because if he wasn't, and I'm not just saying that because I'm his mother, okay, I'm telling you that my son is a good person because he was raised up with good morals and values. Okay, and the Justice Center has not been fair to my child. I have been down there and watched how unfair they are down there.
Okay,
first of all, the police set my son up. Okay, the police had a couple of white people that knew my son, crack addicts, call my son and beg him to meet them at a particular spot for the police. Okay, for the police.
Well, what's the crack addicts doing with your son's number? Apparently, he had been supplying them.
Okay, first of all, okay, I'm not justifying that my son did what he did. He was wrong, okay? But still, you know, he is trying to change his life now. He wants to change, and I believe that. You know, now... You have to believe in him. Yeah, I agree with you there. I believe that, and I believe that if this world wasn't okay, who put the crack out there in the first place for these kids? Okay, the guns, the crack, all of that. Who's taking responsibility for that? You know, all these guns. When I was a teenager growing up back in the 70s, I couldn't go to the streets and get a gun. I couldn't buy a gun. I mean, they put this stuff out there for these kids.
But even if you know, when I was a teen, even if I could have bought a gun, I don't think I would have.
Okay, that's true. But they're putting stuff out there. And look at the situations out here. All of these, crack has devastated our community. First of all, crack has devastated our community. A lot of these children are growing up in a home where they don't even have a choice.
For every teenager that's selling crack, there's 50 teenagers that are not.
I don't know
Probably
about that.
5,000.
Because I know that when I go into Aiken High School, there are more children up there dropping out than they are graduating. There are more children having to get IEPs to get a diploma just to get their diploma. Because of the test now that they have, these kids, they're not putting the information out there so that these kids can be successful in the Cincinnati public schools.
Yeah, but
now, I'm seeing things for the way it is.
If all the kids were failing the test, then I would say, yeah, there's a problem.
There's a lot of children not graduating. There are more there's more African American children dropping out in Cincinnati public schools than there are graduating.
Because they're not going to school.
No, it's because that they're not getting the right information. They're not preparing these kids for this test that they have. Now, I've seen kids, I've spoke to kids, I go into the schools, and I deal with these kids all the time. Every time they take that test, they fail it. There's new information on the test. And then the stuff that they give these
they change the test. They don't have the same test every time they take it over.
They're not preparing these kids for that test. There are children who are going to school every single day trying their best, and they're not passing that test.
But there's some that's doing the same thing that are passing, though. If everybody was failing that test, then I'd say, yeah, you're right. There's something wrong with the test.
There's something wrong with that school
system.
There's
a larger percentage.
School system.
There's a larger percentage passing the test than not.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't know about that.
I know about that. I'm telling you.
Okay, well, if that's what you say, then okay. I'm not going to debate with you about it because I know. I've seen it. I have children I have two daughters that are in the public school system right now, and I go up there and I know what's going on.
What grades are they in? What grades are they in?
I have one daughter who just graduated from Aiken.
Okay. Did she pass the test?
Yes, my daughter did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hold on.
That's the information. The information was not given to her the way it should have been.
Well, how did she pass the test?
She didn't pass it all. She had to keep taking it over and over and over and over and over again. And she kept telling me, she said, Mom, the information that I'm getting is not what, I'm seeing things on this test that I've never seen before.
Yeah. Okay, that's possible. That's possible. That's possible. But I don't know.
And all I'm saying to to the listeners. I mean, don't criticize my son because you have not walked in his shoes. You know, you don't know, all the things that these young people out here are going through today. I mean, I didn't have to face.
But people are going to criticize your son because he's a crack dealer. They're going to criticize him.
Okay.
You know, no matter what you say and how good, they're going to criticize him because he was out there selling crack.
Okay. Okay, so
you can't deny that fact.
Okay. He did that. Okay, he said who's putting it out there for them to sell it? Okay, they're talking about there's a war on drugs. Well, how successful is it really?
I mean, some kids are stronger than others.
It's a setup. It's a conspiracy. They put it out there. There's no jobs. I mean, I'm telling you, I know. They give all the white kids all the jobs. They get the good jobs. And you let a white person go out there and sell drugs. They get a smack on the hand. They send them to a Tower House treatment center somewhere. You know, but they're quick to send African-American boys to prison.
Okay, but your son,
the prison's so overcrowded with them now. But
your son, they got him, he did his little time, he got out, but he went right back to doing the same thing again.
Okay, why can't he find a job? Why can't he find something else positive or constructive to do out here?
Well,
so that he can change his life.
Well, you heard? Did you hear the guy? Did you hear the truck driver? Did you hear the guy that's a truck driver now who had been to jail? You know, and he said it's tough out there, but you just have to, to work your way through it.
It sounds to me like he got into a support group, some kind of system, and he met people. But everybody don't know that type of help is out there.
Okay,
everybody is not as fortunate to maybe go through a support group.
Okay, so now you got a year to 2 years to do some research out there and to set things up for your son when he gets out.
Well, I am. And I know my son is going to change, and I don't care what anybody say. I mean, a lot of children, that one guy, the famous writer, they diagnosed him with a learning disability, and he's one of the most famous, world-renowned speakers in the world. You know, they misdiagnose people all the time.
But, okay, I'm
just trying to say that things happen, and my son shut down.
I feel you. But, I'm just saying, third time, hopefully he has learned his lesson after 3 times. You've got some time in front of you to look around to see what type of support group, see if maybe you can find some type of career he can get into after he gets out.
Yeah.
So, if you want to help him, that's going to be your job for the next year or two to be ready for him when he gets out.
Well, I'll be glad when the day comes when they arrest the really guilty people, and that's the ones who are putting these guns and the drugs out here on the streets for these young people who don't even realize what they're getting themselves into.
Yes, they know that they can. They've seen their friends get caught and go to jail for doing that.
9 and 10 years old getting their hands on guns.
Yeah, well, I agree with you there.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that they need to arrest the people that are putting it out here. These kids are getting a hold of drugs that only military people should have.
All right. Hey, Miss Frasier, thanks for calling back. And keep listening because I know you're going to hear some reaction from what you just said.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. All right.
Conspiracy.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and hear the fallout from this conversation with Miss Frasier. Oh boy. Let's take a break. We'll come back and see if we can weave our way through this on 12:30.